Hey you, so on this video is 1,000 ounces of silver, the ultimate gold, and how long should it take to acquire that? I'm going to be putting some numbers to those questions there. I've recently been asked a few questions by an individual on whether 1,000 ounces of silver was adequate and how long would I recommend or gauge it would take to acquire that for someone on the average budget. So I'm going to be going over just that and give some numbers to those questions right there. So before we jump into this, if you like and see what you hear and you haven't done so, please do go ahead and subscribe, and also let me know your own thoughts and opinions on how much silver you think is enough. And I would say gauge it down to each individual on a different budget set. I've done a few videos like this, but I don't believe I've put a number to how long I believe it should take. And it's all going to be my own personal thoughts and opinions here, guys. So I'd love to hear your personal thoughts and opinions in the comments also. So getting on to is 1,000 ounces of silver, the ultimate gold. It's all going to be different, once again. It's going to be down to each individual different, but I would say 1,000 ounces of silver personally is a fantastic number. I came in extremely aggressive in the beginning. I've shown a lot of what I did pick up, and I never really had a limit in terms of ounce. It was more financially where I was able to stop and what I believed an ounce would cost and what it would ultimately be at the end. But I've come to realize and even put some numbers towards what I would like in certain metals. For instance, I know how much rhodium I would like to own if I ever do own any, how much platinum, palladium, and even how much silver and how much gold. And out of all of them, I'd rather take the approach of, no limit on gold and limit on the rest. Then I would say easily 1,000 is a number that I could easily set with myself personally. But asking if it's the ultimate goal is like saying, I don't know, for instance, is $10,000, £10,000 savings good enough for you? It's different because it's fiat, and this is metals, and you're only supposed to allocate 10% of your income towards the metals. But I don't work off of that metric also. I think answering is 1,000 ounces the ultimate goal would all boil down to how it took you to acquire 1,000 ounces, and will you never need to tap into those 1,000 ounces? So let me put it like this: if you can acquire the 1,000 ounces, and I'll break into the time frame in a moment, and it was no skin off your back. You're not going to need to tap into it. In fact, you're ready to keep on moving up and onwards, goal achieved. And if you're going to set goals, you might as well set them big. And that's for anything in life. So 1,000 may seem like a mountain right now, but once you get going and you're really actively moving forward, we all know what can happen when you put your heart and soul into anything. So I would say, yeah, by all means, you'd be surprised at how fast it all adds up. But when it's not a good thing, I would say going for 1,000 plus or even large amounts is when you're stacking against the any moment now doomsday clock, is when you're stacking, watching any videos. And it's easy to say don't do it, but a lot of people get caught up on it. I've had many comments in the past of oh my god, jealous and all this crazy talk. But it can get some people caught in their feelings just from watching these types of videos, and even become disheartening, thinking, how am I ever going to acquire the same amount as that person there? When in reality, as with anything, when you're given this type of advice, we're not all the same. We're not all financially in the same type of positions. We don't all stand on the same footing, but it's easy to get caught up watching these types of videos. But if you find yourself in that point where you've been on bread and water for the past 6 months because you just need to get your ounce count up, I think it's a bad thing. So, if you're in a comfortable enough position where you can go for 1,000, it is an ultimate goal. It's a fantastic goal. Should you stop there, all depending on how you got there, 1,000 is fantastic. 1,000 ounces is absolutely fantastic. To answer how long it would take to acquire 1,000 ounces, I'll say this. Look, I know individuals, couples that are on over 100k a year, £100,000 sterling. That's anywhere from $120,000. They're over 6 digits. They make over 6 digits a year between them. And even one couple down there making over like close to 180,000. And surprisingly, they don't own a home. I would say 99% of their life is finance. So everything they're on, including the massive rent that they're paying. Of course, each individuals I'm speaking about here have kids, the kids, and just their entire life, from cars, every aspect of their life, subscriptions. I don't think they know no different, is just finance. It's credit. Their entire life is credit. I look at these things. We talk. We're close enough where I do mention certain things, but I don't go in too deep because for some it's all they know. These types of people that I know, when they have stacked, and it's been nothing major, they've been able to allocate a small amount. If I've purchased something, or they've came and purchased some silver piece of me, looking to acquire a full tube of silver Britannias, for instance, I'd say they've allocated no more than £100 a month. Now, would it be different if they knew about the fractional lending, about recessions looming, if they knew more about, quantitative easing and the likes of? No, because it's not secret information. It's just how, when they're putting in terms of their priorities, where they see themselves. So a lot of people just stick their fingers in there and don't want to hear it. If it's not here right now or literally on their doorstep, they don't want to hear it. So these are couples that have, as I mentioned, over 6 figures a year, and they're allocating no more than $100 a month. So give or take £50 to £100 is anywhere from $100 a month. So when you're talking about your average Joe, everybody is in different financial stages in life. I would say even on minimum wage, and I've said this before, I think you can allocate anywhere from £50 $50 to $100. So, and that's depending on your outgoings also. So each and every person's different. But if I'm putting a number to the question, here's how I'm breaking it down. I would say a person on a minimum wage, even a child, but there's been a lot of kids, technically teens, that have contacted me in the past, and they've been doing very well in terms of what they're looking to stack and the likes of. But looking at it on a budget of $50 to $100 a month, you've got to allocate towards silver. I would put that down to a 10-year time frame to acquire 1,000 ounces of gold. So that's my own personal thoughts and opinions there. I also believe giving it that type of a time frame takes out the urgency. When you see a lot of people going against the doomsday clock, need it now, any moment now, it's going to be $2 billion or 500 ounces or $500 an ounce and the likes of. Do we have that long? Who knows? I could have done a video like this if I was around them 8 years ago and told you that. I've done videos saying we're not going to see nothing major in silver for 10 years. I would say the average time frame to acquire 1,000 ounces of silver, regardless of where you are on the planet, of course, you have to be in one of the first world countries, should take you about 10 years. That way there you have all the time in the world to allocate towards your responsibilities, your bills. Some months can be better than others. Some months can be, bad. Some months you can't do it at all. But the main thing there is that you're moving at a steady pace. And from what I believe to be, something that's not too intensive and too much pressure on anybody with any type of responsibilities. We all are at different financial points in our life. So with a 10-year gap, I think that's the perfect round number to acquire 1,000 ounces of silver. 1,000 ounces of silver. Is 1,000 ounces of silver the ultimate goal? For me, I would put that at cap. I've done a video where I've stated at one point I wanted 500 ounces and 6 ounces of gold, and I was good. Where would 1,000 ounces of silver take you on the next bubble up? Depending if it's just silver you're getting into, who knows? You could double your money, whatever you're putting it into. Taking out and withdrawing is always going to be, how do you intend to withdraw that? Would you be doing it by ounces, by kilos, by 10 ounces? It's all, different from person to person. But putting numbers to the questions, I would say to acquire 1,000 ounces, if it can take you 10 years, then you're on the right track. Now, have you seen anybody, myself, any other stacker that could show 1,000 ounces tomorrow and they just started their channel yesterday? You need to ask these people how was they able to acquire so much within that time frame I'm mentioning. And 9 out of 10 times they're going to tell you they either had some type of business going on, they had some type of savings already, or they're just in a financially sensible position where they're disciplined and they really manage their money correctly. You're not going to find no magic answer for the average Joe being able to acquire it anytime sooner. That's going to put a lot of stress on themselves and their finances. So these are just things that I think everybody, especially new stackers, could take into account and not put so much pressure on yourself because you just found out that silver's the next best thing and now you need to have it, and you're going against the doomsday clock and any moment now it's going to go boom. You know, take your time. If you're going to put a number on it, go big. 1,000 by no means is like, you know, the absolute max. If you're able to comfortably apply that in half, a fraction of the time stated, then you're good. Keep on going up and more. But would you need more than that? You would have to tell me. You're not to forget, you're going to take into account storage, transport, liquidation. How do you intend to liquidate that when the time comes? What's it going to be in? Are you going to be in generic? Are you going to be in governmented? Are you going to have bars? Regardless of what the answer to those questions are, I believe 1,000 ounces for a new person getting in and setting the goal of that is fantastic. In a time frame of 10 years is absolutely fantastic, where you can stack at your own pace. There are ways to get there sooner, i.e. stacking, picking up 5 ounces of silver a month, and maybe at 1 month you may pick up a collector coin. You know, a couple of months pass by and that collector coin triples in values, doubles in values. Then this is ways that you're able to make it shorter. If you do the calculations and you think, well, hold on, 10 years, splitting down 100 and whatever, there may be months where you can have more money. There may be months where you can have less money. This is why I believe 10 is the perfect round number. And not to forget, it's a savings account. You know, it's a hedge. It's something that you don't really look at and intend to touch immediately in the first sign of trouble. So as long as you move forward with that mentality, those are my numbers that I'm going to be putting out there, but I would love to hear your numbers. So, you know, do you believe 1,000 ounces of silver is the ultimate goal? And how long do you believe it should? Do you think the average person would take to stack that? So I'm going to wrap this one up, guys, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this video. So please do go ahead and leave that down below in the comments. Please do go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.